So I don't know if you know this, but Bill and I were on the same faculty in the Department of Computer Science for over 20 years. And I never knew his PhD was in industrial engineering, but it makes a lot of sense now they said that. But he said a lot of things there that are really true. We're all here because we have a passion for problem solving. We have a passion for our students. We have a passion for education. We have a passion for computer science. We have a passion for competition. And that passion breeds scholarship. We heard Bill say all the new things ICPC has to do every year to keep up with the growth in technology, right? Engineering, AI, stuff like that. So about a decade ago, I was the department chair, and a lot of my faculty would go to this ICPC thing, and do a lot of work, spend a lot of time, a lot of effort. They'd create problem sets, they'd train, they'd create technology in the back end. And, you know, so an academic's like, where are you putting this stuff? What journal do we publish this in? That's where I made my mistake. Because I thought, we should start a journal, right? And so fast forward a few years, it turns out there's a lot of work getting things together, getting things involved. But ICPC's been here for nearly 50 years. And so they've really stepped forward, the foundation, in the last couple years to really systematize what they're doing and to put energy behind a rigorous, peer-reviewed journal of some of the work that we're doing in ICPC. So I'm here today to kind of announce that we're moving forward with this journal. Right, so we're all here because we have a passion for what we do. We have a passion for competitive learning. We know that competitive learning makes a difference in the classroom. We know that it's not just some of the first principles of the algorithms, right? It's also the data sets, it's the curriculum. It's really looking at things systematically, developing test cases, and seeing if they work. Oh, I did not know this. So why do we need our own journal? Original research, right? There's algorithmic problem solving, solutions testing, there's just derivative software. You mentioned collusions, AI. This is a bucket of things that we could think about here. There's the academic part of it. It will serve as a peer-reviewed archive for novel designs, solutions, findings produced in the course of pedagogy. What's the best way to train a team? What are the best results we get? Collaboration. This is open source, right? We want to make sure that things are in a system that's been peer-reviewed and is rigorous so that other people can take what you've done and go back and improve upon it, right? To use it in their test cases. This is the way science works. And what we're doing in this type of scholarship is science. And then there's a repository for data. I'm a big fan of this. I'm a data person anyway. But how do we get data sets that we can all share, right? Can we create canonical data sets that work for competitive programming? So I think it's time to start a journal. I thought that a decade ago, and we're finally making a lot of progress here. So who's our audience? Well, just within this community, we have 400,000 participants, right? That's a big audience right there. There are a lot of people who work every day, volunteers in the academic world. But we're not the only place that does competitive learning, right? There are mathematics competitions, cybersecurity competitions, competitions in business. There are chess competitions, actually, that are really, really active. Just kind of computer science, robotics, debate. All these areas of scholarship really can benefit from that kind of cross-pollination of learning on how to do team competition towards the good of training our younger faculty and younger students. And also gives you a place to publish things as you go for tenure, for example, right? Where can I put this really great scholarship I did that's kind of maybe not as traditional as other places? So the ICPC journal is not meant to just be for computer science, right? Our goal and our hope and our prayer is that this goes out to a larger community of competition as people discover the value of competition across all sorts of technical disciplines. So that's where we want to be. That's the space we're going to fill with this journal. All right, kind of the big, broad sections of the journal. Right now, we're focusing on research. Those are full-length articles that have first principles kind of novel research in areas across a large set of topics. Review articles are also very helpful, especially as a journal gets going. I think a lot of people have a lot of history. Bill mentioned the history of ICPC. We don't want to lose that, right? I think we're going to create a space where people can write commentaries and review articles to help us remember where we came from so we don't forget any of that information and knowledge. Curriculum. I'm really excited about the curriculum piece. Curriculums differ across, of course, every institution we've been at. Some of them are good, some are bad, but can we really systematize a way that we examine a curriculum for its outcomes? What are the outcomes, and can that curriculum meet them? Editorials. I'll ask Bill to write an editorial. It could go on for a little while, but we're going to make a really... We have one coming from him, actually, about the history of ICPC. I want to capture problem sets and solutions to those problem sets. I think it's a really nice place to do that. And these will be peer-reviewed, right? So they're going to go out and double-blind studies to our friends and really get the best of the peer-reviewed problem sets in here. And the data, right? I want to provide canonical DOIs for all the data so we know where they live and so people can look at the same kind of data sets across them. So those are our main sections starting out. We started this a couple years ago really in earnest. We had a kind of a soft launch in the spring. We started inviting people that we knew to write a few papers to see if the pipes were hooked together, to see if they had editorial boards. And I think we're ready to take the next step. So here's some logistics, right? The current journal is listed at that URL, journals.u.icpc.global/JCL. You can see there that this portends a very large future, right? Because this is not maybe the only journal, maybe the other journals we want in the future. So we're going to start a whole new journal part of the ICPC. Publication fees, review fees will all be supported by the ICPC. We want to reduce the barrier for entry, regardless of what part of the globe that you come from and what your resources are. So that will not be a barrier for publication or dissemination of the work. It initially will be online and open source. In other words, the data sets will be open source. The journal will be published online. But I think maybe once a year we may publish a hardbound or softbound version of the ICPC contest. DOIs for data sets. It's indexed by Google Scholar. We can't index in other indexes until we publish 2 or 3 journals. So it'll take us a year or 2. But if we stick with it, we'll get indexed by all the services. One of the things I think would be really cool to do is have the best papers of a year come here and give those presentations during the CLI. So you submit, you get to come here and tell everybody about the great work you did in the journal. There's a copy there of one of our very first kind of pilot publication to see if it all works. It's pretty good. You can kind of read it on the line, online there. All right, so what is our time frame here? Our first kind of real issue is going to come out in November of this year. It seems pretty tight, but we already have a lot of submissions in the pipeline. We're going to ask for a lot more between now and November. Our second issue will come out next May, and then in November again, right? So that November issue and May issue, we'll look at those for maybe a CLI talk in the future. And then, you know, depending on how many people use it and how strong that journal is, we'll can shift to a more quarterly publication. So here's kind of a copy of the front page. On this page, if you scroll down a little bit, they'll say something like, we need editors. And that's where you guys come in, right? Take-home message here. Our journal will have credibility only if we have a good editorial staff. And these are section editors as well as regular editors. And we need reviewers, right? I need people to call and harass and harangue about reviewing articles. I've been a journal editor for several other journals, and that's the worst part of the job, right? Getting those reviewers in there. So yeah, help us out. We're a community. And so if we get here and you sign up to be a reviewer, we'd love that. Sign up to be a section editor, we'd love that too. So right now, I don't know, I'm running this with Christian, Bill Booth, Tomas, and Bill Poucher as of right now. So we have a small team, but we need to grow this team rapidly. to scale the journal in the way we need to. So please get on the website, submit your name. I ask for a CV if you'd like to give that to, especially if you want to be an editor. And the credibility of our editors and editing space is going to make this journal good. So that's everything I had to say about this. Do I have questions? Yes? A section editor? Oh, he asked me what a section editor was. That's somebody who really wants to worry about a paper that is, for example, is a data paper or a curriculum paper. I would point to a section editor and say, you really like curriculum stuff, now you need to go take charge of this particular submission and go find the reviewers for it and kind of shepherd it through the pipeline. Great question. Anything else? Yes?
Do you have a target number of submissions and or target number of editors at the end?
The more the merrier right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll repeat the question. So what's the target number in terms of editor and also submissions?
Target number of editors, we could have section editors in the 40s. We have 40, 50 section editors. I would like to have an editorial staff of 10 to 13 people. And of course, as many reviewers as we can get, right? The number of submissions, the more the merrier. I'd like to have lots of submissions. So if you know people who are in this space, who are doing a lot of work, they're doing the scholarship anyway, let's capture it, let's make it an artifact, and let's publish it so the world can see it. Thanks, Chris.